Hello and welcome back to Warhammer Endtimes Vermintide. Okay, in this episode we I continue. Oh no, I try the last was an Empire character, the Bright Wizard, and essentially she's a sorcerer and she has a very interesting mana-like kind of system. Or no, it's a
They've got us completely
maybe
cut off.
not
No
really
relief
mana,
in
but stamina
sight.
system with her magic.
Crystal Fingal,
Instead of
the
like
master
a
wizard
mana or an
of
armor
Ubersreik,
pool
has a
that
job for
the
you.
other characters get for their ranged weapons, the Bright Wizard's magic has a, like I said, a stamina sort of meter. Well, the more she uses it, the more like fire and burning she build more. Yeah, the more heat she builds up in a way and starts to actually burn and damage her. So yeah, you need, but you can also vent out the heat or vent off the winds of magic heat that she's generating and stuff. And yeah, it's interesting. Like, because you can also charge up some of your spells to do more damage and everything, and she can become quite devastating. But it's also a risk-reward system, I must say. That the more you use the ability, more you use her abilities, and the more powerful or spells you shoot out, the more higher chance you have to actually down yourself or injure yourself at least. So yeah, it's a pretty cool system. Also, one thing I noticed looking over this footage, I forgot there is another special. There is the Vermin or Skaven Packmaster, a hook rat essentially that has like a slaver's hook, and it runs up and he grabs you and pulls you away. It's quite like the jockey from Left 4 Dead, except you don't have any control whatsoever. The Packmaster essentially pulls you around at a slower pace, a walking pace than what he usually has and what you usually have, but you have no control, and he pulls you around and essentially gets you into a corner map and then stakes you on, or stabs you on top of the actual hook, and you struggle there and die, and your friends have to either knock you loose before he stakes you onto the spear he has essentially, or the hook, and or they can get you down when you are hooked. So, and you glow just like as before with Left 4 Dead. It shows that a character is being dragged off essentially. There are highlights and stuff. Yeah, it does that. So yeah, this is the last bit of footage. I did play a bit more, and I got to a new section. There's actually chapters within the game I wasn't aware of. Because I thought initially it was the 4 maps, and I thought, geez, this is quite small, this game. But it actually does branch out. There's more maps that unlock later once you complete all of the maps or challenges on one skill setting at least. And I do that for easy because I'm playing solo. But yeah, it unlocks so that you get another 4 or 5 maps, and it continues the storyline as such that it's really quite interesting. And considering it takes place within the End Times, like a campaign that Games Workshop sort of recently did, about last year or the year before, I think, where they basically closed off and they ended Warhammer Fantasy Battles in the old world. They essentially threw that away to a degree, and they have now started off with the Age of Sigmar setting, which I'm not essentially a big fan of, but hell, I'm more of a 40k player than a fantasy player, so meh. Or 40k fan and a fantasy fan. Meh. But yeah, this is still really nice.
A grand wedge
game.
of stone.
Nevertheless, it's
Anyone would think the
just
architect was
oozes in
compensating
style,
for
and the overall atmosphere is so
something.
good.
Yeah,
It's
gunpowder
really
doesn't
well
smell
done.
as good as ours.
There also
but
is,
it'll have to
I
do.
noticed,
Let's get this over
you
with.
may have noticed,
The
I was
river
looking at
stinks
there is
like
DLC,
an ogre in
a
a
small
tar
DLC
pit.
campaign of about 3 or 4 maps that takes place within a vampire count's castle, and which is pretty cool, but it's essentially just a small map pack there. There are no new enemies. There are 1 or 2 new weapons, but yeah, really, considering how many other weapons are in the base game, it's yeesh. There's a crazy amount. I even get some new weapons later on. Well, yeah, you don't have footage. You won't see footage
Harness
of
that'll
that.
take some defending.
And yeah, it's quite expensive, I must say. And although the DLC it does nice change of setting, but it really would have been nice if they added in some vampire count characters and skeletons and stuff. Although that harkening back to the undead, it's a bit close to Left 4 Dead, I guess, to a degree. But it would have been nice in a way to have a change of characters and stuff, or even just expanding out, having some more specialist undead or another one I just recently remembered, but I always forget because the hook rat and the storm vermin, which is another special Skaven character that pops up. They seem rather bland and a bit too unremarkable compared to the rest of the clan rats, the regular common enemies. But yeah, the storm vermin is essentially a heavily armored variant of one of the clan rats. It has heavy armor and a big halberd that he skewers and stabs you with. You have to actually either knock off the armor using possibly explosive or ranged weapons to shoot or break their armor, or you go for headshots only. You swing and you try and hit them in the head, and they're quite tough motherfuckers, I must say. Not as tough as the ogre, obviously, of course, but yeah, they're another interesting enemy that you sometimes see blended in with the regular clan rats as kind of like a sergeant sort of character leading a mob of clan rats around. Also, you get randomly you get a chance of having a phalanx of a bunch of them, a squad essentially of about 8 or so storm vermin that march along, and you hear them chanting and the sergeants barking orders to them in their funny like rats speak. And they can be tough. I think you will have probably seen me get killed by a whole squad of them in the second video when I was playing as the Empire soldier with the sword and shield combo. But yeah, they can be quite an interesting tough enemy, and that comes out of the blue sort of. You can sort of hear when they're coming. And I think they're one of the ones where a bomb will really useful. It will be useful essentially to break their armor, and that makes it a bit easier. Also, alternative mentioning there is explosives on the map, like barrels. For instance, on this one, the barrels of gunpowder, you have to collect them and take them back to the ship, which is a very different kind of mission than the other ones I've had. This one being a collection mission more than just an escort or a adventure kind of mission. It's been interesting because the barrels appear in other maps, and they are essentially like propane tanks from Left 4 Dead, where you hit them or shoot them, and they'll set off and spark, and they'll begin like a fuse to burn, and you can chuck them at enemies either beforehand or while they're burning, and it goes off, really clears out an area if you've got a bunch of pack of rats coming after you, swarming you. But yeah, it's another cool feature that's also very thematic of the universe, because the Empire is very they're like a medieval moving into Renaissance kind of Germanic empire in a way. It's a very interesting concept that the human empire has.
Some for us.
In style, maybe I should say. And yeah, they use a lot of gunpowder, and it makes sense that you find gunpowder barrels here and there to fight with, or to use as an actual objective.
The armor.
So yeah, that's basically all my gameplay of Vermintide. I would say definitely pick this up if you've got friends who own it, or alternatively if you're getting into it with friends. It's definitely worth it. Not on its own if you've got it. Single player content's basically moot. This really should be played with friends. because it is a competitive, cooperative game, really, at its base. And like I said, it's an extremely good professional mod for Left 4 Dead 2 on that basis, and I'm not really too against those kinds of things, really, in a way. If a game essentially is a skin to, or maybe, no, not really a skin, a total conversion. This is like the best total conversion I've ever seen, essentially. And that's not really a bad thing in this case, because it does it so well, and there's actually quite a good amount of content. And there's some new features that Left 4 Dead 2 really doesn't have, the equipment and loot options and stuff. They're quite nice. So yeah, that's my view on Warhammer Endtimes Vermintide. So yeah, I'll see you next time with another thing. Okay, bye.
Found another bomb. Our runner approaches.
Slaughter the brute. Be brave as Ungi.
We got the assassin!
Sogri, have a message for you.
The tail, even for you. Jumping bomb! Enjoy! Shall ya bless these weary bones?
Hear that, monster?
I was better off before mercenary.
They have a recovery!
She's cursed too much.
Right over! They're quicker than they look! Don't let them
The
gather.
brute would never die.
It was well struck all the same.
Down the hatch.
Get out of the way! Gun team! A bomb! Skaven gunner! I'm taking point! Silence that gunner!
Your attack's gloves off, Sergeant. Go for the head. Stock up if you can.
Get around it! Don't face it head on!
Get out of its firing line.
That thing you made it for me! Oh, bless your eyes! They're faggot!
Gods know what foul stuff is in there. There's no hope for them. An evil breed, born of chaos. Death is the only answer. Faster, midwives, faster!
Leave them in twain! Aim for its skull, Wizard! It's always thick!
What's the matter, Holdseeker? Was that a painful scratch? They think sheer numbers will prevail.
Get behind me! I've got a shield! I'll get their attention! It's not my eyes, do it?
Keep going.
The screaming one!
Armor's too thick, Carillion. Aim for the head.
bride comes and finds me ready.
Clan faster!
All will die!
I remember this from my dreams. No stomach for a fair fight, gutter runner.
Kill it! Kill it! Kill it!
Rattling gun!
Ah, so this is where we load foul-smelling blackfire into the ship.
Great ruin death!
I'm the gunner's target! You kill it!
A child of Sagaraki! If only Okri could see me!
Great ruin death!
Rattling gun!
That gun won't shoot again.
Yes, I'm bleeding. Does it please you? Oh, more if your mercy and the Pale Queen will take me.
What's that?
That's a runner!
The clan! All will die! Clan master!
Blades in the shadows.
No!
I guttered on a drugs near. Found a potion!
Time for a one-man shield war! This is where I should raise my shield.
Look out, assassin!
Lay back up! I shield, you kill, alright? I'll use my shield, you use your weapon.
For the joy to work. We need to flank that thing. Reach and move. Kill them any way you can.
You're to die in a hail of warp shot!
Sergeant, thing is armored. Weird stone apparatus.
Just a win, that's you, elf! Oh, get off with Tailgate! You're heavy for an elf!
The elf is dead. Fire's turned against me. Tread carefully.
Hello. Christoph Engel, the Master Wizard of Ubersreik, has a job for you. Good as rock, Dory!